What's up, dude? I don't have anything to say at the beginning of this video, so let's just jump right into it. On June 6th, 1996, Darlie Lynn Routier, 25 years old, had fallen asleep in the downstairs family room with her two kids, Damon, 5, and Devin, 6. I really love those two names together, Damon and Devin. I think that's really cool. The two boys were sleeping on the floor, and Darlie had accidentally fallen asleep with the TV still turned on. I can relate, I've done that a lot. Her husband, Darren, cute. Darren went to bed upstairs in the master bedroom with their youngest son, Drake, 7 months old. While Darren and Drake were sleeping, Darlie, Damon, and Devin were brutally attacked downstairs. The two boys were stabbed, and Darlie's arm and throat were cut. Later, Darlie would tell the police that she woke up and found the intruder in the house and that he left through the utility room out into the garage. The police said that one of the big windows in the garage was open and the screen was cut. When Darlie had woken up, she followed the intruder to the utility room where they had dropped the knife, and then Darlie had picked it up. However, that made the police and prosecutors doubt Darlie's story because after she was admonished by the police dispatcher not to touch anything, she was open and told them that she already did. The 911 phone call that Darlie had placed lasted for about 6 minutes around 2:30 a.m. In the first 30 seconds of the call, Darren is heard in the background. The first officer to the scene, Officer Waddell, testified at Darlie's trial that she did not show any concern for her children and even refused to help them. In the 911 recording, Darlie can be heard talking to the youngest, Damon, who was still alive when the police and paramedics arrived. Damon's not the youngest. Drake is the youngest, but Damon is one of the younger ones. They're all young, but you know what I mean. Darlie was also recorded asking why the ambulance was taking so long. Darren testified that Darlie had gone into the kitchen to get towels for her sons. A bloody towel was found later near Devin and was discussed at trial. There's also a bloody sock with both of Damon and Darren's blood on it. That was found outside, and Darlie claimed that the family just does keep a stack of old rags and socks in a pile. I don't know, that was kind of a weird one, but yeah, had both of their blood on it. And it's weird that someone would lose a sock. One of the responding officers said that Damon was still alive when he arrived, but by the time officers cleared the scene and were able to perform first aid, he was just barely alive. Darlie and Damon were taken into the hospital where Damon passed away in the paramedics' care. Darlie got exploratory surgery on her neck at Baylor University Medical Center. If the cut on Darlie's neck would have been 2 millimeters deeper, it would have cut her carotid artery, a wound that absolutely would have been fatal. Officers continued to comb the house for more evidence. However, officers who testified said that they weren't sure which officer had already touched what, so it really seems like they kind of fumbled the ball with this one, like on this investigation. One of the officers who responded to the scene around 5:45 a.m., James Cron, walked through the house and made the observation that it looks to me like there was no intruder here. Over the course of the investigation, multiple officers would testify that they believed Darlie had perpetrated the crime and cut herself to cover it up. After Darlie was out of surgery, she was questioned and cooperated with the investigators. However, she did just get out of surgery when she was questioned, so it's really unclear whether or not her answers were credible, and it was also questioned why investigators would have thought that then was the right time to question her, because she was on, obviously painkillers, and one of the drugs that she was on has a similar effect to like morphine, so it's very strong stuff. So yeah, I don't really think that was a good move either. After a prayer service at the boys' gravesites, the family held a birthday party for Devin. The family celebrated happily, and video was taken of the celebration, which was used during the trial, because everyone was seen really goofing off, and they had silly string, and they were having a lot of fun. The jury supposedly watched the video 8 times. Some of the jury members thought that the video made it look like Darlie was celebrating the death of her child. I could see how it could be in bad taste, but then again, it's like you do want to celebrate the lives that were lived. So, on June 18th, Darlie was arrested on 2 counts of capital murder. She was indicted by a grand jury on 2 counts of murder, but the prosecution only moved forward on one charge of pertaining to her kid, Damon. Because of how young Damon was, Darlie was sentenced to death. On February 4th, Darlie was sentenced to death by lethal injection specifically. In June of 2011, Darren filed for divorce, saying that the decision was mutual but very difficult. Darren still thinks that Darlie is innocent, but they wanted to divorce to end the limbo that they had been in since her arrest and conviction. And she is now at a prison in Texas where death row inmates are sent to, or female death row inmates are sent to. So I'm very up in the air about this one. Comment down below whether or not you think she did it, or if she did not. I'm very curious to see what you guys think. But that's it for me today. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And I will see you guys back here at 7 a.m. with another True Crime Courier video. Bye guys.